The calling. There comes a moment in every human life, a moment so quiet, so subtle, that most people walk past it without ever noticing it happened. It arrives not with thunder, not with revelation, but with a whisper. A whisper that feels like a question you've been avoiding for years. Why does every year feel the same? Why do I walk through different seasons, yet repeat the same emotions? Why does my life change so little, no matter how much I promise myself it will? If you are hearing this now, your calling has begun. Not everyone hears it. Most people are still asleep inside the echo of their past. Most people think time moves them forward, when in truth, time is waiting for them to move. But you heard something. Something shifting in the background of your awareness. Something rising beneath your ribs, like a forgotten truth resurfacing. You felt it in the stillness between your breaths. In that strange moment when the world outside seems to pause, and the world inside leans closer. It is the sensation that life is trying to speak to you, not as a punishment, not as a warning, but as an invitation to step out of the corridor of repetition and into the dimension of deliberate creation. Because here is the secret almost no one knows. Your life does not repeat because nothing is changing. Your life repeats because you are repeating. Your mind is moving through the calendar, but your energy has not moved through its evolution. The year turns, but the self does not. And so the year becomes a mirror, reflecting the exact frequency you carried into it. This is why every January feels like déjà vu. This is why your intentions start strong and fade quietly. This is why goals dissolve into familiar versions of you. Not because you are weak, but because you are unchanged. Every new year is born from the old self, unless you answer the calling. And when the calling arrives, it does not ask you to hustle, or to force your life into shape, or to chase a better version of yourself. The calling asks for something deeper, something quieter, something far more powerful. It asks you to wake up from the cycle of unconscious becoming, to wake up from the emotional gravity of your past, to wake up from the identity you didn't realize you were still carrying. Because the truth is this: a new reality is not created by the year you enter, but by the frequency you embody. And if you are hearing this message, you are standing at the threshold between repetition and transformation. You are answering the calling. And once you answer, the old year can no longer hold you. Your past can no longer repeat you. Your destiny begins to rearrange itself in your favor. This is the beginning. This is the opening. This is the calling, the echo of the past. Before a new path can reveal itself, you must understand the force that keeps you tied to the old one. Every human being carries an echo inside them, a resonance, a vibration left behind by every experience, every memory, every unspoken moment of the life they have lived. This echo is not your enemy. It is simply a recording of who you have been. But here is the mystery most people never uncover. The echo of the past is louder than the intention of the present. Unless awareness intervenes, people wonder why their resolutions fade, why their courage dissolves, why their dreams shrink back into silence. But the reason is simple. The past has momentum. And unless you slow that momentum with consciousness, it will pull you into another year that looks and feels exactly like the one before it. Not because you are broken, but because you are rhythmic. Because human beings do not live by logic. They live by emotional repetition. Every emotion repeated becomes a pattern. Every pattern repeated becomes an identity. And every identity repeated becomes a destiny. This is why so many people feel trapped inside lives they did not consciously choose. They are not prisoners of circumstance. They are prisoners of echo. The echo whispers, "This is who you've always been. This is how your story goes. These are the limits you must obey." This is the level of joy you're allowed. This is the amount of love you can receive. This is how far your life can stretch. And even when your consciousness rejects these lies, your nervous system believes them, because your nervous system is built from memory. You are not fighting your future. You are fighting your past. But here is the truth the echo never wants you to know. The past is not chasing you. You are carrying it. You carry it in the way you breathe, in the way you hesitate before speaking your truth, in the way you prepare for disappointment even in moments of hope, in the way your body tightens when you imagine being seen, in the way you shrink your dreams to protect yourself from failure. The past lives in you, not as a story, but as a frequency, and frequencies repeat themselves until they are dissolved. This is why every year feels eerily familiar, why new beginnings feel strangely old, why the same emotions rise at the same times, why certain patterns appear like ghosts re-entering the room. You are not imagining it. You are reliving it, because memory has gravity, and until a new energy emerges, the gravity of memory will pull you toward the same choices, which lead to the same outcomes, which recreate the same life. But something extraordinary happens the moment you see the echo clearly. The spell breaks. For the first time, you stop reacting to the past and begin observing it. Observation is liberation. Awareness is the doorway through which destiny rewrites itself. And if you are hearing these words, if your chest feels warm or heavy, if you feel seen in a way you cannot explain, it is because the echo inside you is beginning to lose its power. You are stepping out of its rhythm. You are no longer repeating its shape. You are beginning to emerge as someone your past cannot recognize. This is how transformation begins, not with force, but with awareness. You are not at war with your past. You are outgrowing it. And the echo, for the first time, is beginning to fade. The compression of time. There is a moment in the cycle of every year, a moment most humans feel but few ever truly understand. It arrives in the final stretch of the year, in the quiet days when the world slows, when the air feels heavier, when emotions rise without warning, and memories return like old visitors knocking gently at the door. People think they are tired. They think they are stressed. They think life is simply catching up with them. But something far more mysterious is happening. Time is compressing. Not the hours on the clock, not the days on the calendar, but the emotional frequency that the year has carried. Every choice you made, every emotion you held, every silence you swallowed, every truth you avoided, every effort, every wound, every hope, every disappointment gathers into a single energetic field, a field that tightens in the last days before a new cycle begins. This compression is not punishment, it is purification. It is the universe giving you one final chance to release the emotional weight you accumulated before you step into the next chapter of your becoming. Because here is a truth very few ever discover. You do not enter a new year clean. You enter it with the emotional frequency you held at the end of the last one. And that frequency becomes the blueprint of your next cycle. This is why the final days feel intense, why emotions swell, why unresolved memories surface, why conversations you avoided suddenly want to happen, why fears you thought you had outgrown return subtly, why your heart feels full and empty and heavy and hopeful, all at the same time. You are not breaking down, you are opening. The pressure you feel is the energetic signature of your year, collapsing into clarity. Time is not squeezing you, time is revealing you. It shows you the weight you cannot carry forward. It shows you the patterns you cannot repeat. It shows you the version of yourself that cannot follow you into the next reality. This is the cosmic checkpoint. between who you have been and who you are capable of becoming. Most people ignore this moment. They distract themselves, rush through it, push away their emotions, try to finish everything before the year ends, not realizing that the year was never asking for completion. The year was asking for release. If you do not release the final frequency of your cycle, you bring it with you. And so the new year is born from the old vibration. This is why a fresh start feels stale. This is why new beginnings feel familiar. This is why, by the end of January, everything looks like déjà vu. You did not start a new year. You continued the previous one until you experience the compression consciously, until you let the emotional field collapse, until you allow the energy to be seen, felt, and freed. Time cannot turn, because time does not turn on the clock. Time turns in consciousness. And right now, as you listen, as you breathe, as the awareness inside you expands, you are already stepping into the rarest state a human can reach at the end of a year, the state of conscious completion. The moment where the past loosens its grip, where the present widens, and the future starts to unfold like a horizon you can finally see. This is the compression of time. It is not meant to break you. It is meant to remake you. And now that you understand it, the next chapter of your awakening can begin. The birth of awareness. Awareness does not arrive the way most people imagine. It does not descend like lightning, nor roar like revelation, nor shake the ground beneath your life. Awareness arrives gently, silently, like the soft glow before the sunrise, so subtle that you almost miss it, until the whole horizon begins to change. Awareness begins the moment you realize something profound. You are not the echo of your past. You are the one who hears it. You are not the pattern. You are the one who observes it. You are not the emotion repeating itself through the years. You are the consciousness watching that emotion rise and fall like a wave that no longer controls the shore. This is the birth of awareness. It does not ask you to fight your past. It asks you to see it fully, calmly, compassionately, because the moment something is seen clearly, it begins to lose its power over you. People often believe that transformation requires force, discipline, intensity, resolutions written in moments of fear or frustration. But awareness is not force. Awareness is illumination. When light enters a room, darkness does not argue. It simply disappears. The same happens inside you. The moment you become aware of the identity you have been carrying, the identity dissolves, not through battle, but through understanding. Awareness also brings a second realization, one that can transform an entire lifetime. You have been living inside emotions that were not yours. You inherited some from childhood. You absorbed others from society. You adopted many from moments where you needed protection, not truth. But every emotion you repeated, every fear, every hesitation, every loop of doubt, built a version of you that your soul never intended to be permanent. Awareness shows you the impermanence of your old self. It shows you the cracks in the armor. It shows you the distance between who you truly are and who you agreed to be when you were too young, too wounded, or too unconscious to choose differently. And in that distance, freedom begins. Awareness also reveals something else, a truth that only those ready for transformation can hear. The version of you that kept repeating the same year was not wrong. It was simply unawakened. It was doing its best with the level of consciousness it had. It was trying to protect you from pain, from rejection, from disappointment, from the unknown. Your old self was not your enemy. It was your guardian. But guardians must eventually step aside when the soul outgrows the walls that once kept it safe. Awareness is the first step out of those walls. Awareness is the moment the observer awakens. And once the observer awakens, everything changes. Thoughts soften, patterns loosen. The mind becomes spacious, the heart becomes curious. The body stops bracing for a past that no longer exists. Awareness is not loud, but it is powerful. It is the silent shift that rewrites destiny. And here is the greatest secret awareness reveals. You are not becoming someone new. You are remembering someone eternal. Someone who has always existed beneath the noise, beneath the fear, beneath the repetition, beneath the echo of the past. Awareness does not create your true self. It uncovers it, it lifts the veil, it clears the fog, it opens the inner sky. And in that clear sky, your future begins to form. Because time does not wait for the calendar. Time waits for awareness, and now, awareness has been born in you. The next chapter, the chapter where choice becomes power, is ready to begin. The choosing. Awareness may open the door, but only choice allows you to walk through it. And here lies the secret that separates those who repeat their lives from those who reshape them. Most people never choose who they are becoming. They only choose what they want. Once a week, identity is destiny. The soul does not transform through intention. The soul transforms through decision. Decision is the inflection point of the universe, the place where timelines bend, where realities reorganize, where the unseen begins to move in ways the mind cannot yet understand. And yet, most humans avoid this moment, not because they lack desire, but because they fear the weight of choosing. Choosing means releasing the comfort of repetition. Choosing means stepping away from the gravity of the known. Choosing means surrendering the old self so the new one can breathe. And surrender is terrifying for the ego, because the ego believes it is you, but you are not the ego. You are the one who chooses. Every life shifts the moment a soul says, "This version of me has served its purpose, and I choose to become the one I was always meant to be." But choice is not a sentence spoken with the mouth. Choice is a resonance spoken with the body. It happens in the widening of your breath, in the stillness behind your ribs, in the subtle unclenching of the places where you used to hold fear. Choice is not loud. Choice is profound. Your next year does not respond to your hopes, your goals, or your promises. It responds to the identity you choose. Identity shapes emotion. Emotion shapes action. Action shapes reality. Reality shapes destiny. This is the architecture of creation. When you choose a new identity, you choose a new destiny. But here is the truth most people never dare to admit. Every time you avoid choosing who you are becoming, you are automatically choosing who you were. Not deciding is deciding. Avoidance is a choice. Hesitation is a choice. Staying in the familiar emotional gravity is a choice. The universe does not wait for clarity. The universe responds to coherence. The question is not, what do you want from the new year? The real question is, who are you willing to be when it arrives? Because the year can only meet you at the level of identity you embody in this moment. Not the identity you hope for, not the identity you fantasize about, not the identity you write on a list of resolutions. The identity you choose with your breath, your awareness, your presence, your state of being. This is the choosing. Take a moment. Feel the weight of that truth settle gently into your chest. Not as pressure, but as permission. Permission to stop repeating yourself. Permission to evolve. Permission to step into the future that has been calling your name. Through every disappointment, every longing, every quiet moment where you knew you were meant for more. You do not need to know how the transformation will unfold. You only need to choose the self who will live it. A destiny is not a path. A destiny is an identity. And right now, in this breath, you are choosing to become the one your past was never strong enough to imagine. But your future has always recognized this is the choosing. This is the moment timelines shift. This is the moment the universe leans toward you, waiting for the next chapter of who you are becoming. And now, that chapter is ready to unfold. The becoming. Becoming does not happen in a single moment, but there is a moment where it begins. A moment when the air feels different, when time slows, when your inner world shifts in a way you cannot fully explain. A moment when you realize you are no longer negotiating with your past. You are transcending it. Becoming is the quiet revolution of the soul. It is the unraveling of the old self and the assembling of the new one through awareness, choice, and presence. And it begins the moment you stop asking life to change and start allowing yourself to change. The universe does not reshape your destiny when you force it to. It reshapes your destiny when you become a match for the version of you that destiny belongs to. Becoming is resonance. Becoming is coherence. Becoming is alignment with the self you are stepping into. And right now, in this breath, you are entering the current of your becoming. Most people believe transformation is an event, a breakthrough, a revelation, a powerful moment that appears suddenly and resets everything. But becoming is not a single spark. It is a flame that grows quietly each time you choose a thought aligned with your future instead of your past. Each time you exhale an old emotion instead of clinging to it out of habit. Each time you respond consciously instead of reacting automatically. Each time you embody the identity you are growing into instead of the one you are outgrowing. This is becoming. It is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is not a battle. It is a soft unfolding, the soul blooming into more of itself. Becoming is also the dissolution of inner resistance, the soft release of the tension that once kept you small, the loosening of the armor you built when life felt overwhelming and you needed protection more than truth. The armor was not a mistake. It was a bridge, but bridges are not meant to be homes. They are meant to be crossed. And becoming is the moment you step off the bridge and onto the land of who you truly are. You may feel a warmth in your chest, a pressure behind your eyes, a vibration in your stomach, a strange sense that something in you has begun to rearrange itself toward a higher version of your life. These sensations are not random. They are energetic signatures of an identity shifting its center of gravity. You are not losing your old self. You are releasing the version of you that was built from fear, habit, and survival. And what rises in its place is the version built from awareness, presence, and possibility. Becoming requires one more realization, one that will shape your entire future. You are not transforming into someone new. You are returning to the self that has always existed beneath the noise of your conditioning. Becoming is remembrance, a rediscovery, a homecoming to the self that has been waiting beneath layers of fear, doubt, and repetition. You're not ascending into a new identity. You are awakening the identity your soul has whispered about in every moment of longing, intuition, and desire. The future you imagine is not a fantasy. It is a memory of who you are meant to be. And becoming is the path back to that memory. As you continue listening, notice how your awareness expands. Notice how your inner space widens. Notice how the old timeline begins to feel less real, and the new one begins to feel inevitable. This is not imagination. This is embodiment. Your next year will not be shaped by what you hope for, but by the one who is emerging through your becoming. Right now, you are stepping into coherence with your future. Right now, you are aligning your breath with the life that has been calling you. right now. You are becoming the self who will no longer repeat the past. This is the becoming, the most sacred transformation a soul can experience. And once you become, nothing can return you to who you were. The opening of the future. There comes a moment, after awareness is born, after choice is made, after becoming begins its quiet blooming, when the future itself starts to shift. It is not loud, it is not dramatic. It does not explode into your life like a storm. The future opens the same way a dawn does, softly at first, barely perceived, until suddenly everything is washed in the light of what is possible. You may not realize it yet, but the moment you awakened, the moment you chose, the moment you began to become, the fabric of your timeline responded. The future is not a place you go. The future is a place you create through the identity you embody. Every breath you take in your new awareness sends a signal into the field around you. A signal that says, I am no longer the one I once was. I am ready for what aligns with who I am. Becoming, I am stepping into the next evolution of my life. And the field listens. It always listens. The universe is not responding to your wishes. It is responding to your coherence, to the vibration you hold when no one is watching, when no one is listening, when it is just you, your breath, and your becoming. This is the most sacred truth you will ever learn about the future. The future does not arrive. The future responds. And the moment you stepped into awareness, the moment you chose your new identity, the moment you allowed becoming to take root, the future responded by unfolding a path that your past could never have walked. You may feel a subtle pull forward, as if life is leaning in your direction. You may feel a quiet sense of alignment, as if something inside you finally clicked into place. You may feel an inner warmth, a stillness, a widening, as if the horizon of your life has opened. These sensations are not coincidences. They are confirmations. They are the echoes of your future reaching back toward you, recognizing you, welcoming you. The future opens when the old self closes. The future expands when the past dissolves. The future calls when the soul awakens. And right now, you are standing at the threshold between everything you have known and everything you are finally ready to receive. This threshold is not a place in time. It is a place in consciousness. The last day of the year does not open the future. The last breath of the old identity does. And you, with every word you have heard, with every realization you have felt, with every shift unfolding quietly within your awareness, you have crossed that threshold. The old year cannot follow you. The old patterns cannot repeat you. The old timeline cannot claim you. A new current has taken hold, one you created not by force, but by remembering who you truly are. So breathe longer, deeper, as if inhaling a world you have not yet stepped into, but already feel belonging to, because this is the truth you were meant to discover all along. The moment you awaken, the moment you choose, the moment you become, the future opens, not for the person you were, but for the person you have finally allowed yourself to be. Walk forward now, not with fear, but with recognition. The life that once felt distant now feels inevitable. The year that once felt repetitive now feels expansive. The path that once felt hidden now feels illuminated. Your future has opened, and when the future opens, the universe rearranges itself to meet the one who is ready. You are ready, and the future is opening right now.